organized over 110 online sessions since its launch in 2009. Over 4,500 members have participated, and the feedback from our membership is quite encouraging. Today's webinar will be on the importance of eye donation. We have a very distinguished personality like Mr. S. Jayaraman with me in Bangalore office. He is an engineering graduate in electronics and communication, a vibrant personality who was on the corporate ladder in the IT industry, facilitator, India operations for Gandhiva Infotech Private Limited, and he is also director. He was director operation for Stream Processes Inc. India. He is a humanitarian involved in various social activities on a personal level and is also a dedicated Rotarian. His skills range from marketing consultancy to facilitation to fundraising. Jayaraman has been a consultant to the Asim Premji Foundation and a fundraiser for Akshaya Patra. Common sense, energy, empathy, commitment, quick learning, good networking, and good communication are his plus points. He is committed to socially relevant projects where his compassion and skills of management, technical creativity, and communication are utilized. He is involved as trustee with Sri Ramana Free Clinic Trust, Sukripa, International Children's Peace Council, and actively connected with many service organizations. May I request all participants to make a note that this webinar would be a one-way communication from CI Bangalore. The live interaction would begin after the presentation by Mr. Jayaraman. Participants are requested to type their questions in the question box, which would be open during the Q&A session, and Mr. Jayaraman would take it up live one by one and would answer all the questions raised by the participants. May I, on behalf of participants, would extend a formal welcome to all of you and invite Mr. Jayaraman to take over the session. Over to Mr. Jayaraman.
Thank you, Praveen, for that introduction. Good morning to ladies and gentlemen. I should thank CIA for giving me an opportunity to take part in this webinar. Today's topic is eye donation, a gift of beauty, a way to eternity. There is a significance about today. Today is the World Sight Day. Every year on the second Thursday of October, WHO celebrates this World Sight Day, and the idea behind it is to focus on a couple of things like cataract, blindness, refractive errors, low vision, glaucoma, and diabetic retinopathy, all these kinds of things to focus. In fact, every year they also come out with a theme, and this year theme is the integrated eye care team working together to eliminate avoidable blindness. That's the theme. So this has got, the topic today has got, though may not be the fully kind of covering what is the World Sight Day is looking for, but I think one significant factor, which is the corneal blindness. In fact, it is to be said that this is one of the things is so low a percentage. If you take 100% as the avoidable blindness, in this 0.9 or 1.0 percentage is the corneal blindness as far as India is concerned. Unfortunately, since about 20 years we have a strong eye banking system. There are many eye banks that have come to India. We are not able to tackle this problem. We are still lagging behind. The count, it says India has about 1.5 million Indians suffer from corneal blindness, increasing at the rate of 30,000 every year. And unfortunate thing is the corneal blindness affects mainly children and young adults who have a long life ahead. One of the reasons for corneal blindness is malnutrition. And in India, with the many of those people are poverty or below poverty line, they don't get, or even people who could afford, maybe their eating pattern doesn't allow and proper nutrition may not be getting it. So I see a lot of people are suffering from this is what the youngsters get it, and then it has been increasing. But if you look at it, the count is 15 million, 1.5 million and increasing it every year. But on the other hand, India has last year or year before last, the average death was 75 lakh people, which means about 150 lakh eyes were available. Theoretically, it was available. And one could quickly make a calculation and say, and probably I think you all might have received, might be receiving some emails which says in India, with the kind of, the huge population and the death rate happening out, within 11 days we would be able to solve the corneal. But it's not so simple. I mean, I think theoretically problems could be solved, talked about it in way, but practically the other end of it is that we have in India, I'm told, about 800 to 1,000 corneal surgeons who can do this corneal operations. Now with them, they won't be able to achieve 1.5 million corneal operations. Maybe the best they could achieve is about 1 lakh operation in here. So if you look at it, really the mathematics or the count comes to a level. On an average, we need about 1 lakh corneas in India every year. But surprisingly, India last year has collected about 15,000 usable corneas. I'm mentioning it as usable corneas for the specific reasons. We did collect about 38 or 39,000 corneas. Unfortunately, our corneas of those, only 15,000 were useful for grafting. Rest of the corneas were not, we can't say it's not useful because there are many other use like therapeutic and research purpose corneas are used. Never corneas are wasted because corneal surgeons cannot be trained by using a real good cornea. So this is the situation, but at the end of it we got only 15,000 corneas. We burn or bury 75 lakh pairs of eyes. That is about it's 15 million eyes, in fact, exactly. That's what we do it. Leaving the 1.5 million corneal blind persons to live in darkness. So these people there is a huge shortfall of donor eyes in India. So most of the eye banks, most of the eye care institutions whom I have contacted or we have been known to are saying that there is a list of patients who are all waiting for it. In fact, one of the things which happens in Indian context is that any person who is blind in both eyes or usually gets only one eye. If we get two corneas, good corneas from anywhere, only one cornea is given to a person. The second cornea is given to a second person, which really means that we are trying to use we are trying to make the best use of corneas which is available. And in fact, probably a doctor would be able to talk to you in a little more elaborate way. They have come out with many interesting ways to slice the corneas and use it for more people. There are technologies where they have developed which they are trying to use it. But at the end of it, on one side we can be proud that technologies are there to use one cornea into 4 people, all those kinds of things. On the other hand, we should feel little disheartened that such a simple thing, a donation which happens not while a person living at all, it happens after he is leaving the world. An opportunity, a last opportunity, L-A-S-T, not last, a last opportunity where they would be able to make an impact, make two people to live. I think that is where we are making the last opportunity more of LOST, last opportunities. So this is the scenario is one which is intriguing. I was working as Praveen explained. I was working in information technology IT company, and then 3 years back I had an opportunity to come out, and there was a time available for me to think of doing something before getting back to the corporate. And has been working in cataract, in my Rotary district, which is Rotary District 3190, avoidable blindness project, where we were trying to help the cataract. I was thinking the nearest one which we could be probably looking to is eye donation, and there also my understanding at the point of time when I entered into it is that the doctors, we have excellent doctors. So the eye banks we have there do a good job. Most of the eye banks do a very good job. In case if there is a call comes to them, they would be able to take the call within the stipulated period, rush, collect the cornea, and come back, make everything perfect. And there are doctors who could use a good cornea and make the grafting perfect. So the doctors are doing their work, the eye banks are doing their work. The only area for a public person like me who is not a doctor is, can we increase the awareness about eye donations, and see whether more people could be part of this deal about it. That is the reason I walked in. When I walked into the project, I was under the impression the job which I have to do will be some kind of a minimal work, where I have to walk in and see, talk to everybody, create some brochures, leaflets, and put it across to various people, and then wait for eye banks to get their numbers of corneas so that they can do a good job of it. But then it was not so. It was not so. So when I got into it, I found this information was shocking, that India collects only 15,000 usable corneas in a year. Made me to think there must be something which we should do it more committedly and more focusedly. So that's where I started an organization called Nayana Jyoti. Now, if you look at it, the idea behind this whole thing is India has lakhs of needy recipients awaiting corneas. As the statistics, whatever we have, which says we have about 1.5 million, increasing at the rate of 30,000. Millions of corneas have become available every year, which I told you. The statistics says about 75 lakh people die, so 150 lakh corneas are available every year. Corneas are an easy and compelling donations to make, for a simple reason that this has been taken at the end of life, after the life, and it is only a small portion of it. Doesn't disfigure it or doesn't have to do a huge operation or anything. It's pretty simple, and it gives a great feeling to the family which give the bereaved family, that they still, as the title says, that a gift of beauty and eternal, it's going to be an eternal gift. It's going to be live for it. They can keep on seeing about it. The transplant procedure is straightforward and scalable. Today, as I mentioned, the doctors are very capable, and in spite of the situation being very tough, they are trying to make the best use of it. So we have no
connection.
Okay, so as I was telling, the transplant procedure is straightforward and scalable. Doctors, hospitals, eye banks, NGOs, and media are doing good work. There is nothing much to complain. Whatever the opportunity available for them to give their views out, or give a possibility or visibility to the topic, they do it. Treatment of cataract is widespread and extremely successful. Now, this is one of these, why the specific reason of cataract has been brought into it. If you look into it, the cataract people today, India, if you look at it, every state has does about 6 lakhs cataract operation, 6 lakh numbers of cataract operation in every state, and cataract people who have gone through the cataract operation can be an eligible candidate for eye donation also at a later point of life. So we have in a position to capture about 6 lakh people who can probably promise, saying having got their vision, they would be able to, they may probably say, I got my vision by somebody helping me out with an intraocular lens and all. I may be a part of it. I may just process. So we would be able to generate kind of a awareness amongst it in a huge way. India has a long humanitarian tradition and strong volunteer base. I think this is the one which probably we have put in as an Indian. We always seen many people doing it. But my only question is, are we doing enough is the question. We do have a strong volunteer base. Maybe somewhere the disconnect is happening around. A lot of support available from government, corporations and individuals. If you look at it, government pays to an eye bank for going and collecting a pair of eyes. They pay an amount of money for all those care, taking care of the charges, and also the medium in which the eye has to be kept and all those things. And for cornea transplant, there are insurances available from the government for the poor, and the high-end people could pay for it. It's not so costly. And so there are various, and corporations also have got programs where they give money to this. This is also very interesting, as India has a deep technology expertise that could add great value. I think we have, if you look into it, we have some excellent hospitals available. Our doctors, and you could name it, that the moment you start Shankara Netralaya, Arvind, Shankara Eye Care, or the Rotary Darjan, Lions, there are many huge eye banks and eye care hospitals, and they come and they stand, their name, L.V. Prasad, all these names stand apart, and they really, so the doctors have got the expertise to do that. So the question came to our mind, then why is there a huge disparity? The huge disparity about 1,000 times, 1000x, between the number of corneal blind and the successful transplant. If you look at it, the donor pool, is about 1.2 billion. From there, it comes to the end of the day, we end up with about 15,000. That is the specific reason, the specific thought which made us to get into form this Nayana Jyoti. So what can be done to address this and give sight to waiting? This doesn't underplay or undermine the work so far being done by eye banks, government, and all those things. They were all giving their best. They were all giving their thinking. And any process has got, sometimes it starts with a lot of enthusiasm, stays for a long time, and remains. And somebody thinks that everything is going well and never looks into it. Is there anything improvement could be done, or any new innovations could be brought in? Maybe that's a kind of work being happening around. People have tried and people are trying, and that's a point where we came in. Now, what is the very significant thing which we have brought in is that we thought over the whole process for quite a while, and we thought that, can we change the approach? It's a trial which we would like to do. So we started thinking. We thought that the present scenario so far is that somebody comes to you and says, please pledge to donate your eyes. The significance is they come and tell you, please pledge to donate your eyes. They give you a form where you fill, and they ask who is your nearest relative and all those things. So they could be part of it to explain to you at some point of time. I mean, they could be inform the eye banks and all. It assumes that you probably going to outlive them, all kinds of things. And then it puts a very simple point on you that the moment until you die, you don't have to worry anything about it, because nothing else you can do. It's not like blood donation. In blood donation, if I commit to give blood, probably every 3 months, if I'm hale and healthy, I have to give blood every 3 months. But eye donation has only one opportunity. So thinking about it little clearly, we thought that why not we shift, which is very practical. we all have only one opportunity to donate our own eyes. If I have to donate my eyes, if everything goes well, it has to be given by my family, but I have only one opportunity. But we all have many opportunities to reach an eye donation possibility to an eye bank. If you look at it, for example, my father's eyes, when my father passed away and when my mother passed away, the information, I have the information that I have at that point of time, I could take an easy decision, and then I could tell the eye banks, why don't you come and collect the eyes? So they did it, and he passed away in the hospital, and they took the eyes. So if you look at it, in the process of it, everybody has many opportunities, many opportunities to reach it. So we are now telling, you don't become a passive spectator by just pledging to donate your eyes, but become an active participant. The number one, you pledge your eyes that you will donate your eyes to the nation, whatever the time comes. People around you will be able to do it, or that's the way you look at it. But apart from that, you also try to see around you if there is any place where there is an eye donation opportunity is there. Can you become somebody who talks about eye donations? Because there are many myths about eye donations. Many people who are even so-called educated, we call, who are degree holders and scientists and all, they all have a different opinion or different view about it, different thoughts about, different information behind what they have about eye donation. So the very simplest thing is, can we be one who shares those information? It's like, I remember I went to one ISRO scientist's 60th birthday. It was, I've been in the eye donation, so I just told him, wish you all the best and many more years to live. But when you leave, in a mild jovial tone, I said, probably you should leave your eyes. He said, no, sorry, Jaram, I'm a diabetic, I won't be able to. So I have to clarify to him that eye donation has got nothing to do with diabetes, or nothing to do, we probably will talk about it a little later, but many people have got many ideas about eye donation. So we could be part of the eye donation movement. So that's why we call, what is the approach we have made is, we call them as donors. We call everyone a sight ambassador. If you're joining this movement, you become a sight ambassador. Your job is to pledge your eyes to the nation. Whenever your opportunity comes, it will be taken. Apart from that, you see if there is a bereaved family where you can go and make a little bit of grief counseling. You don't need to have you don't have to go beyond a limit. Just tell them that if 2 eyes been left, it may be useful for somebody so that the person can live eternity. That's a kind of an approach you can make. Third thing is also tell people how to take care of their eyes, because most of the eyes we receive, about 67% of the corneas we receive, are not usable for grafting, which means that we have to take care of our eyes. That's a simple, good suggestion you and I can make, whether we are a part of eye donation or whether we give our eye donations or not. So our approach makes it. Then the most significant benefit I see from our new approach is, when I go and talk to schools, it becomes very simple for me. If I talk to an young youth group or anything, earlier days I had a problem, or we all had a problem we will maybe be soft pedaling our thoughts. We will be taking it in a very lighter way to tell the youngsters, please pledge your eyes and donate it. Whenever you die, please give the eyes involved. Maybe sounding it a little odd. So, but this approach which says that, don't worry, you have many opportunities to reach an eye donation. Why don't you do that? You be a part of it. Whenever you see an uncle, I've been receiving calls, people saying, my grandmother passed away. Incidentally, it all happened in my own life when my father passed away. I was, basically getting over the shock and trying to arrange for his various other things. At that point of time, it's my daughter who just walked in and said, Dad, is it possible for us to give, there was a call from the hospital also, is it possible to give Tata's eyes and grandfather's eyes? And it was easy for me at that point of time to make a decision about it. So we all can be like this, the youngsters can be like this. This has a real practical background behind why this approach was, in fact, came to us not in the beginning stages, at a later stage where we were addressing a hotel management institute with about 40 to 50 youngsters. I made the usual pitch, please pledge to donate your eyes. At the end of it, nobody was ready. Everybody was looking little unsettled. And I told them, why don't you pledge? These are the forms. And they said, no, we have to check with our parents, we check with our, we are not yet married, we have to check with our husbands, kind of things. So eye donation immediately probably raises a thought in the mind that it comes to some kind of connoting it to death or something, and what is that? Why should we think about it at an younger age? But after that, when we got into this kind of a new approach, I see that there is a huge sense people are ready to come into it. We are not saying that this is the only way. This is also one of the ways, because there are other ways also people get committed to eye donation. So the slogan which we have developed is donate your eyes later, but get eyes donated now. It says that your eyes can wait. Your eyes can be donated at the point of time. And incidentally, if somebody works on getting eyes from somebody else, when his or her time comes in, naturally people around him or her are going to say that you have been, this gentleman or this lady has been working on the eye donation. And the best way to give a tribute to them is to get their eyes also and fix it to somebody else. So we say donate your eyes later, but get eyes. So this is one approach, which is the first thing which we did. So we go with a nice blessing. We say live 100 years, get as many eyes. I could see that in my last 1 year of focused working, I have probably able to get about 32 pairs of eyes. So what people like you can do, whoever is listening to it, whatever be their age, whatever be their condition, whatever their beliefs or anything like that, they could become a sight ambassador, which is the most significant thing. A sight ambassador, which the earlier days or even today, people are calling become a donor. We are saying, can you become a sight ambassador? Slightly expanding, and it's only kind of, marketing communications kind of things which we have probably. What can you do if you become a sight ambassador? If you agree to become a sight ambassador, what could you do? Number one is learn about eye donation, which is very, very significant. I'm surprised. We have gone, whenever we went into meetings, we have talked to many people, and the kind of misinformation they all got. Either they have too much information which is not relevant, or some of the significant things they have many doubts, which there's many assumptions they have. So my request is, through this, we will be running through it. Though I'm not a doctor, going through the process, I have come to what is the critical need of every one of us. In fact, the most easy part of all these things is eye donation is the one which doesn't have any complications, in the sense blood has got, the grouping, and, it should be age between this age to that age and all kinds of things. We will come across when I talk about the eye donation, when I'm going to tell more about it, you will understand how we can simplify eye donation as a one-liner saying everybody can donate eyes, without worry about the age or gender or blood group or anything. Everybody can give eyes. That's donate eyes is a kind of a final, if you can derive out of it. Then the second thing you can do is pledge to support eye donation movement, becoming a sight ambassador. Then the third thing is probably is that you also talk to people around you and tell them to support. I personally feel that as this eye donation, everybody is qualified. It's not like blood donation. In eye donation, everybody is qualified. And it is not a donation which has to happen immediately, which will happen only when somebody leaves this world. So there is an opportunity at the end of the day, end of the life, to sign it off in a good way. Just to give an idea about eye donation, what we call it as eye is not the eye which is being used for transplanting. In fact, the significant here is you have to understand it is only the portion which is called cornea which has been used. Cornea is the clear transparent tissue covering the front of the eye. It has been shown in the diagram. That is the only portion is being used. This is the tissue covering the front of the eye. It serves as a window to allow light to enter into the eye. Vision will be dramatically reduced or lost if the cornea become cloudy due to disease, injury, and infection. This is the only portion which has been used, but we simply call the donation part as eye donation. And when the eye bank people come to a house and try to remove, they basically try to remove the eye as a total package. Because if you are trying to do something of the cornea part of it, excuse me, cornea part of it, it needs a little more precision, where you have to wait and spend more time. But at the point of time, they just take the eye out and then keep another artificial eye and close it, or they just close it and go off. So eye donation really means cornea donation. The main causes of corneal blindness is injuries. As Diwali is going to come, and we all will know that Diwali time, there are many people who get into this, the crackers bursting into it. The other significant is malnutrition, which I was mentioning which is very significantly people who don't get those vitamins and all those things from the initial stages gets into problem, and at the age of about 5 or 10 or 15, they slowly lose that. Infections are there, chemical burns, and very minimal congenital disorders. And there are post-operative complications when there is some operations goes bad. Maybe the cornea gets injured and cornea loses it and becomes a corneal blind. So these are the main causes of corneal blindness. But the beauty of it, fortunately, lost sight due to corneal defects can be restored through corneal transplantation. That is the good news part of it, that portion can be removed and then a new cornea could be stitched onto it. So if you look at the photograph, the diagram, it says this is a procedure where the cornea of the donor eye is grafted. They take only the cornea portion. After taking the eye to the eye bank, they just cut the cornea portion of it, and then they take it to the patient, and also patient's bad damaged cornea is removed, and then this has been stitched into it, and the process goes on so that 90% of the people get their vision back if the cornea is good. This is the significant part which we have to see. Please look into it a little more carefully, is that who can donate eyes, or what you mean by the corneas. People who wear spectacles, whatever be their vision, they may be short-sighted, long-sighted and all, they don't have to worry about it. They can give, they are eligible for a donation. People suffering from diabetes, asthma, high blood pressure, tuberculosis, but tuberculosis is recovering out of it or recovered out of it. Those are the kind of people. People who have undergone cataract surgery can also donate eyes. So if you really look into it, everybody can donate eyes, because most of the people either may fall into some kind of these kind of diseases, and that's if you take it, diabetes is one large, high blood pressure is one large thing, but then you don't have to worry. All the people who have this kind of a symptom, also their eyes could be donated. Age does not matter. People at the age, I think there are records which says from the age of 1 to 101, 102. When I recently, sometime back in Chennai, a freedom fighter with about 102 years old, a lady, her eye was taken, and the beauty of it is that eye was perfect and it transferred. Gender does not matter. In eye, it doesn't matter which is a male eye can be put into female eye can be put into male, and all those kind. In that age also, a youngster's eye can be fixed into an old man, or old man's eyes can be fitted into eye. Only thing is, doctor will see that if an eye has been an 80-year-old man, it would have been used for 80 years. So they will try to see for an youngster, get an younger age eye, which is about 30, 37 kind of things. Gender does not matter. Please understand that the most significant thing, the last which I am going to say is, families can donate the eyes of their dear departed even if it has not been pledged before, which is a very significant thing, because we all think that the pledging or getting a card is a must, or it is a kind of a legal document or something. Pledge cards are basically meant to kind of probably keep you an information in your pocket, saying that if there is something happens to somebody, how he could be identified, or if something happens, how do you call an I-bank? Do you have the I-donors? Otherwise, in most of the cases, if parents or somebody who hasn't done, and if somebody has got an idea to give it out, they can just give. In the same way, the other thing also works. If somebody has pledged and somebody is there, the family may reject it, said we don't want to give, but then there is a moral commitment. If I have pledged my eyes and I got a pledge card, certainly my family feels morally that this gentleman had a desire in his mind. He wanted to give the eyes, donate the eyes. Why should we stop it? All religions endorse the practice of eye donations. In every religion, there will be somebody who will be telling that eye donation is, they're quoting some of those verses which nobody would have heard about it. And they would say that eye donation is not given. But at the same time, there are many other people who have been purely religious, purely been deep into religious thoughts, have very clearly said in each religion, I think anything you donate to a fellow being, human being's benefit, is you don't have any stop on that. No religion stops it. So if somebody quotes to you, I think there are many other quotations we can bring back to say that is eye donation is not stopped, and all religions endorses the practice of it. So if we put it a little simply, I could say age, sex, race or religion is no bar. Keep informed close relatives about your desire to donate. So this is a very significant thing. This was the earlier methodology where we used to do, is that when I pledge, I also tell people. Still it continues. I still do that. I have pledged, so I have told my people. But there is again another way of approaching which we are trying to do. Wearing glasses, cataract, certain eye problems, blood groups does not affect eye donation. So nothing to worry about it, because this is a bloodless tissue. Cornea is a bloodless tissue, so you don't have to worry about it. All these things, if somebody makes it, mostly it happens that whenever you meet, you go to a bereaved family's house, and then you are trying to convince them to do the grief counseling. They with consent, not to kind of get away from the situation. With consent, they say, sorry, our uncle was having diabetes. He had just recently had cataract operated. It's a genuine concern, saying that why you take an eye and then it's not going to be used. Please take this information into your mind. Anybody and everybody who would like to, be a part of that little grief counseling. I personally can share my experience. Nowadays, if you look at it, that most of the messages, good or bad messages, comes to you as an SMS. If somebody says, this Rotarian passed away. I in fact yesterday received a message, one Rotarian passed away and all. And then the immediate thing I do is I send a message back saying, is the family interested in eye donation? Somebody around there have a little chat with the family, and we get results also. It has happened in relative side and all those things. So my request is, if that kind of news comes, send an SMS back, or if you are able to go there and talk to them. And if you could, that would be very interesting. On death, inform I-Bank immediately. Donation must be done within 6 hours of death. Then only the collected cornea will be of better use. There are very simple procedures which says close the eyes and keep a cotton over lids so that the cornea is moist and healthy. Switch off the fan so there is no dryness. Practically it takes about 20 minutes, and there is no need of a special room is necessary. And the I-Bank people come to the home and take it. You may be surprised why I am stressing this point. I was in a place in Udupi where the first time I had a news about a bereavement in a family, and I made Udupi I-Bank to go and collect their eyes. The whole village called me after about the 13th day or 14th day. They had a memorial service for the gentleman. All of them who pledged that day to donate their eyes, was saying that is the first time they come to know that they don't have to take the body to the hospital. The hospital or the eye bank comes to them, which was staggering to me, because for me, I was just under the assumption that everybody knows those kind of things. So this is one thing, and no disfiguration is caused. I mean, there may be slight, blood running, thin. If somebody is using a medicine for keeping the blood thinner or something like aspirin or something, maybe a little bit of, but we all say that the cause which you are looking at today, I'm really, will sometimes touched emotionally. Somewhere, two people must be looking through my father's eyes. Compared to that, a small discomfort, if it happens, cannot be. You don't have to be much bothered about it. Donated eyes are never sold, used otherwise, as the blood donation, in blood also. But there may be, if you're looking at, it's not going to be freely fitted into it, because there are hospitals required, surgeons required, and all kinds of people are required to fit it in and then check them, put medication. There may be charges different from, like blood which goes for a testing and all those things. Otherwise, donated eyes, nobody can sell it, say that this eye can be sold. But there were many thoughts at some point of time why we cannot make, because the numbers of eyes we are getting are low, why don't we make it as a business? And like blood donation, which has become totally voluntary, which has got a very, very strong background behind it. Eye donation has also been made as a voluntary effort, because otherwise it will lead to many complications, which the government is aware and everybody is aware of it. So our question is, why destroy a gift? They say eye donation is a God's gift to be passed on, and why do you do it? So I'm going to ask all of you who are all presently in the webinar, are you ready to become a site ambassador to support this eye donation movement? You may be surprised. This is the second innovation which we have brought into it, and if you are ready for it, I'm going to the next slide. Pledge to using SMS. Now, this is the methodology which we have been very successfully, used it, and to be happy to share with you that Eye Bank Association also finds that this system could be used by eye banks. They are not saying that must be used or it's the only thing to be used, but this could be used. If you look at it, what is the logic behind what we did here? While I'm talking, you probably can take your mobile and do this EYE, give a space, put your name, give a space, and place. If you're in any other place, if you're in Chennai, put it as Chennai, and if you're in Delhi, put Delhi, and SMS to this number 9902080011. I would like to see the logic behind it. Now, if you look at the forms which is there, which has been given earlier to all of us, that would have your name, your gender, and then your date of birth, your details, your house address, all those kinds of things. That is because they would like to take it to their place. The eye banks would like to take it to their place, and then register or put it into a register or create a card and send it to you a little later, which you are supposed to keep it in your hand, keep it in your wallet. But today, if you look at it, more than our address, I think our mobile has become a very strong. I may change my job and I can move to some other place. With number portability system which has been allowed here, most of the people keep their mobile number quite with them for a long time. And most of the people at my age and all don't even change their mobile numbers. This is one of those benefits, that your mobile number will give me immediately your background and all. And I don't need the date of birth or anything, because eye donation is not blood donation. Eye donation gives me that any age can participate. I don't need any other information. So we tried this, and it becomes very simple for people to get into it. I space name space. if this is the format, pledge to is type I, give a space, type your name, give a space, type place, and essence. you will usually get an acknowledgement. If the network is not busy, you will say thank you for becoming a site ambassador, and be with that. Now, one of the significant benefits out of this, which what we have thought and we think is that the moment you get into this SMS pledging, your number gets into my database. My database, there is a middle database which is said Jayaraman with my mobile number. I have piloted it during the iDonation fortnight on the iDonation day, National iDonation Day. There was a huge crowd. This idea was tested in Marina, it was Chennai. There was a huge rally where about 800 students, NSS volunteers were all there. And they were all there. Now, I tried this. I talked about the iDonation and asked them to pledge through this SMS based, and we got about 782 pledges. Now I have 782 pledges for that event with me. But the best thing is, every 3 months, I'm in a position to send them a general message how to keep their eyes open, eyes proper, how to take care of their eyes and all, which is a kind of to keep the iDonation on the top of the mind recall. This is one of the significant things which is needed for iDonation, which is what our thought, because in blood donation, every 3 months somebody will approach you saying, or 6 months, they will approach you for where is your, is there an opportunity for you to donate your blood. But in iDonation, we usually don't approach everybody every 3 months or 6 months or even in a year. I-banks don't get back to them. I have a card which is about 15-year-old. Nobody has got back to me. So it becomes very difficult. Now, with this new technology, the simplest technology which is presently available, with the SMS pledging, we are now able to reach about 6,000 pledges which we have collected it, which has become pretty easy. Anybody can pledge. In fact, while I was traveling in one of the trains, former election commissioner was with me, T.S. Krishnamurthy. He said, I'm 70 years old, I haven't had an opportunity to go to an iBank and pledge. I said, sir, now your iBank is next to you, your pledging can be done with me. And I told him how to do it, and he did it. And it became a simple process. So my request is, please note this, whatever the numbers which I have given and all those things. And if you could do that, that would be very thing. Then there is pledging through the online is a possibility. Now the last point of it, which makes the whole process, first we started with the new approach, which we have said that, don't give your eyes, but get eyes. Second is we said how easily one can pledge from anywhere. The third, which is the most significant thing, which we think will help the iDonation movement to go search forward, is at the time of a bereavement in a family, if they are in that place, even if they have lived in the place, they may not be in a position to get the iBank number easily. Second thing is, even if the iBank number comes to them and they make one call or two calls, beyond that, nobody is going to make that call. They'll see if the call is not picked up properly there, or somebody is not there, somewhere the communication line doesn't happen, they won't bother about it. They will probably stop it at that point, and we might have lost one pair of eyes. And most of the people, in case that even if they want to give, this particularly may be one of those reasons. I'm saying it's maybe one of the reasons, impediment, that they have to search for the number and all this. But really committed people go over all this hardship. I have heard people who has called iBanks after iBanks, and 20 numbers they have called and got the iBanks to do that. So what we have now done, we have placed a request with the government of Tamil Nadu and government of Karnataka. Government of Tamil Nadu has in principle approved, maybe they will announce it at a point of time, using 108 emergency number for iDonation calls also. The iDonation call center, there is a very clarity, I want to make one clarity, 108 works for emergency medical calls. It also handles police calls and fire calls. If somebody wants to inform something connected with police, they can call 108, but 108 won't act on it beyond passing it to the police. There will be a table where it goes to the police headquarters or police handling. Same way fire also, if you call 108 and say there is a fire, the call will be handed over to fire. It basically, the call center is used for the ease of the number. People can remember it, and so that they can easily call and put all these things. But for emergency Medicare, this is different. When 108 receives the call, if there is need for ambulance and all, they send an ambulance. Not for the other both services. In the same pattern, we have made a request saying that is it possible? Because there was an earlier number called 1919, which the government at the initial stages when the BSNL had telecom circles, they brought it down. Now this 1919 had one small problem, that it has to be, the number was given free by BSNL, but somebody has to hold it, in the sense the BSNL won't handle that number. It will be terminated in some place where somebody has to sit in front of it, handle it on a 24-hour basis. Somehow that either it merged with one single iBank in some of the places, or most of the people's that number has not been utilized, or nobody was able to take responsibility. Everybody went for their own number. So 108, what we have put in is really helps that people will be able to call from anywhere from the state 108 once the announcement is expected, whatever the software required and testing and all are happily been done. It's all been tested very well, and the calls have been very beautifully. Now when the call goes to it, if a call comes from remote Karnataka or remote Tamil Nadu, they will look into it and see nearest iBank will pop up in that thing, and they will take it over to the nearest iBank. 108 call center will inform the nearest iBank to the caller and ask the iBank to go and clear it and take it and close the loop. In case that iBank is busy with another cornea collection, they will try to locate one more one. So this becomes the total job for the bereaved family which would like to give the eye donation. They will have to make only one call. Rest of the things are taken care by eye donation, 108. Once this system comes, I'm sure there will be more improvements on that system, which will enable a lot of people to work on that. So these are the kind of initiatives we have made, and I would like to quote this: there is no lovelier way to thank God for your sight than by giving a helping hand to those in the dark. The main benefit we all had is we were not eye doctors or eye care clinic. We don't have a eye care center or anything. So we were able to think in a different way, and the different way can also go along with the present system. As I mentioned to you, iBank Association is also happy that the SMS pledging is working out. Now, up to this point we have done, but there are significant things has to be done. There are one main issue which probably we all should try to do. Government after about 13 years of people who have followed it up with the government has now approved in every hospital, while the death certificate is offered to the kin of the person deceased, there should be a column. It says, we are interested in donating the eye. Are you interested in donating the eye of the person? Now, your answer doesn't have to be necessarily yes or no, but there should be an answer. So what the government has said, that every death certificate should have the authority which is offering this death certificate should ask this question to the kith and kin. Now this is the last minute. You are going to remember, take the body to home. Do you like to do this great service of donating the eyes to a needy person? If you say yes, we will make arrangements. If you say no, you can take it. We will just log it on to you. My request is, whoever are there, who are all connected with hospitals, who could be influential in this part, should talk to the hospital, because whatever said and done, hospital cornea retrieval is the best, because it makes everything compact. There's no need to further that the person who deceased gets his eye removed, and when it reaches the home, there's no further work to be done, kind of thing. So this is one very significant thing which has been happening around. And the second thing which will happen now is that because of the shortage of doctors calling an MBBS doctor or ophthalmologist to go and take the eye, the government has allowed that a trained technician can also enucleate eyes, because in most of the places it's very hard to get a doctor to come and enucleate the eyes. Once the death certificate is given to the patient, it should be done. So I would like to leave conclude my talk with eye donation. We have brought in some new approach. I'm sure this will get improved, or this will get changed into whatever the best way possible. We all should join, because I feel the way the waiting list in hospitals and people suffering for a donation, which could be done easily, which could be a very compelling reason to donate. It needs that all of us put little effort. I would like to leave it with one statistics. We need 100,000 eyes every year, which means per day is about 3,000 eyes. In a country which has got about 30 states, 28 to 30 states, it's about maximum about 1,000 or something like this. So every district should come up with about two pairs of eyes every day, which I think, if you really theoretically think, it's not a difficult. On this World Sight Day, I thank you all for joining with me, and I hope I would be able to, if there is any further information is required, I would be able to, you could like, Praveen would make the announcement about logging in and